Hi guys, here is MH. Another good news up front for you guys. I have successfully made small amounts of sodium-potassium alloy from electrolyzing a molten mixture of sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. This acts as both another convenient way to produce alkali metals, especially potassium, and also an awesome way of directly producing NaK without going through the trouble of making the two metals first. I haven't had the time to fully optimize the process yet, and I only got a few tiny spheres of NaK, but at least this is a proof of concept, and further optimizations on the process will soon be released. The basic procedure is to weigh a certain amount of sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide and heat them in an iron or nickel container to 400 degrees C to remove the water. According to other people who tried the process, the molar proportions of the two alkali will be roughly the molar composition of the resulting NaK, but I haven't yet confirmed this and will need further explorations. I found that the molten mix only starts to release water vapor above 350 C, so a high enough temperature is absolutely necessary to remove most of the water. Meanwhile, I add around 20 ml of paraffin oil in a 100 ml Teflon beaker and preheat the oil using a hot plate to around 150 C. This is to prevent the molten alkali to suddenly solidify when it touches the oil. The two iron electrodes connected to the power supply are already set up in the beaker. When the molten alkali is no longer releasing water vapor, it was poured into the beaker. Be very careful as the paraffin oil may suddenly boil and release a bunch of vapors. The electrolysis started as soon as the molten alkali was added, and the current now measures 2 amps. A piece of titanium diaphragm was then lowered between the electrodes. You can see the current decreases to 1.8 amps as we do so. Initially, both electrodes will release gases of hydrogen and oxygen as the remaining water in the mixture is electrolyzed. Then, some small shiny spheres may appear around the cathode, and this is our NaK. Honestly, when I saw these shiny spheres after 4 to 5 failed attempts, I was ecstatic. You can visibly see the amounts of the spheres increasing as the electrolysis proceeds. The NaK was collected with a spatula and placed in a beaker of paraffin oil. Midway doing electrolysis, the entire mass of alkali solidified due to insufficient heating, which was very annoying to deal with. I simply melted another batch of alkali and fed it into the beaker, and switching to a hotter hot plate, and now it is working again, with a current of 3 amps. After another hour of electrolysis, the Teflon beaker softened due to the heat, and I stopped the electrolysis and let everything cool down. Some NaK can be still recovered in the cool melt by careful scooping. I tried to coalesce all of the NaK into one bead, but I didn't have enough, so I just poured the suspension into a glass vial for storage. And here is our beautiful NaK made from just sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. After a week, it oxidized to produce some yellow crap, but that was to be expected since I scooped a lot of other junk into the vial as well. But anyways, this is an excellent start, and I'll soon be optimizing the process to produce NaK of different compositions in a large scale. See you soon!